Come on, slow things. I hate that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Writers of the Future. We're out in Los Angeles this year, as usual. Working Writers of the Future. We've got I think 14 interviews done. We have 3 more with us tonight. We're going to knock them out real fast. Hope everybody's been enjoying it. I know Outer Realm just knocked off, so all y'all still hanging out. I appreciate y'all hanging around and listening and hanging out on the station. You can hang out because we have 2 more interviews after this, so y'all can check them out. They will be coming back in probably 2 to 3 weeks for a 2-hour interview, so we can really get to know these authors and illustrators and really, find out what they're made of and why the hell are y'all in Los Angeles. But anyway, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike Jack Stoumbos, one of the winners of Writers of the Future, Volume 38. Do I mention the story? I suppose I can.
First, are you an author or illustrator?
I'm an author, yes. I'm one of the author winners.
Half and half, is what to say.
Yeah.
So, before you get into the story and all, what the hell made you think you could write?
Oh, in general or for this contest? So
anything, but as a general.
In general, so I come from a very big family, and I was that person who was like, I can keep any of them occupied if I am like weird enough or descriptive enough or funny enough. Now, this is not quite the same as like being people pleasery, but like, middle child out of 4 brothers and over 40 first cousins, literally, not exaggerating there. If I could come up with some kind of a story that could keep them occupied, then that was cool. And so I just kind of did that with like whatever things that we would do and we would play as kids. And by the time I had an opportunity to like, I'm actually going to just start typing out my own stories, I liked them.
Progressive storytelling. In other words, you're walking down the street and you start talking about something and you just start weaving it into a story. Then there's a few authors I've talked to have that ability to just, I was at the gas station blew up, we went down the street and we were running and stuff like that. I mean, not all of y'all do it, but I talked to quite a few of them. Yep. Favorite medium to write on? Computer, paper?
These days I've been doing a lot of my stuff with dictation. So I really like being able to do live storytelling when I can. So being able to record my stuff and then type it out later. Or more recently, I've been learning to just speech to text dictation directly, and I get 2 devices set up. One of them is recording me so that I can listen through later if I need to, and one of them is doing direct transcription, and that has been so much faster than any other method that I've tried. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
I have to try that now.
Yeah.
It's by the way, all of y'all bad influence, and me including everybody here, writers influence. I've been giving Emily nonstop hell for the last few days. I'm like, I can't believe you got me right. God dang it! It's now. Sorry, I just have to say that. Who could think I could even bang out 7,000 words? I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm still surprised.
You did 7,000 words just like this week, or?
I did 3,500 the first night, 1,500 the next night, about 1,800 the next night.
Nice.
It was weird for me, and just something you can comment on. So, around Herbert's book, I fell asleep the other night. I woke up, it's like laying on me. I'm like, I must be channeling. I didn't know I could type that fast, to be honest with you.
Which book? Fear? Or?
No. It's this one right here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Articles and essays.
God makes me read it all the time. Now, a pain in my ass.
You're just absorbing it through osmosis.
So,
it's just
so I get up and write that. Next night, I fall asleep. I'm out. I'm tired, I roll over, the book hits me in the face. I'm like, what? I get up and bang out another 1,500.
So I think it sounds better if it would be fear. That's been in the face when you wake up. Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it's almost like, anyway, it's not about me anyway, but still, it's just weird because I've never written anything. Yeah. I can talk all day long, but I was not a writer and still isn't. Still am not a writer. So, story. But first off, tell me a little bit about the story.
Okay. So, so the winning story for this one was The Squid is My Brother. Science fiction story about a kid who was raised on a space station where all of the people have alien symbiotes attached to their spines to help them survive in the harsh conditions. And then when there's some additional danger that happens, she's sent back as transfer students to Earth for the first time, where nobody has aliens attached to them. And so kind of the opening tag is like, the daughter of Neptune Station's greatest hero is about to face her biggest challenge yet, elementary school on Earth.
He's talking about volume 38.
Volume 38, yeah.
So how did you find out about Writers of the Future? First off, what made you submit to them?
So I found out about them long before I actually submitted. So as a teacher, I was like mining for stories that were not going to be, controversial or insulting to like, or offensive or whatever. So like Writers of the Future was a good set for that, so that I could, have these things that I could distribute to students and teach with. So I knew about that long before I knew about the contest. And once I started, trying to write and submit and get stuff published, people were talking about the contest for Writers of the Future. And when they first said it, they were like, "Oh yeah, out of like tens of thousands of people, there are only like a couple of winners." I'm like, "Oh well, I'm not well known enough. They're probably not going to pick me." And then eventually somebody's like, "No, that's the point. It's people who are new to this." And I'm like, "Oh well, I write stories. I'll send something." And like that was about the thought process once I started submitting.
Well, it took them 2 years to make me think this was legit.
Oh yeah.
I'm hard.
It's-
I get behind. I'm very funny what I'll get behind. Say, put my
Yeah.
name on it. And with the audience size we have, I want to make sure I'm not helping someone make money that doesn't deserve it. I mean,
Right.
I don't mind if Galaxy Press makes money because I know they're helping people. But
Yeah.
some of the other publishing companies that contact, like Green and a few others, they just anyway they weren't what they said they wanted, and it bothers me. So I had to check them in because I remember the first time John said, "Well, we blind judge." I went, "Sure you do, man."
Yep.
I said, "How much money they got to give you to get in the con?" I did. I was like, "It's on here. Y'all go listen." I was hard on this guy.
Yeah.
He was a perfect gentleman the whole time, and it was a nice thing to do. So before we get into something else, author services, how do you like the people over there?
Oh, they've been great. I mean, yeah, it's been a really good group to work with. So I didn't necessarily have specific skepticism before I started working with them. I just didn't know them. Like, I'm like, a few and a couple thousand people who are submitting to this thing are getting in. And so then, once I won the thing, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then they've been contacting me, kind of taking care of all of the edits and stuff. And it's been a great process to work through. I mean, so far, I've liked a lot of the editors and publishers that I've worked with. So I feel like I've been lucky so far, knock on wood. Yeah.
Well, I know you met John and Emily from Galaxy.
Yeah.
How do you think? You think they're on your side?
I feel like it, yeah. I think so, yeah.
I know you've been dealing with the judges. Dean's here, Tim
Mhm.
Howes is here, Kevin's here, so there's quite a few good judges here. What do you think? It's nice to have them here. You think you might learn something from them?
Yeah, I'm definitely learning things from
See,
them.
I'm ignorant. I know I'm learning something from them, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Now,
I really liked getting the very different perspectives from a couple of them in the last few days. And like, so Dean Wesley Smith and Rob Sawyer, they had very different approaches and very different perspective to like, the kinds of things to write and how quickly to write and where to look for publication options. And also, at dinner, they're hanging out and chatting. Like, it's a very amiable thing. Like, they have totally different opinions on how to approach the industry, but in a very friendly way. So it's nice being able to get those different perspectives and to know that, like, for us who are like just starting here, that there are a lot of different avenues that we theoretically could take that might fit best for us.
Well, I've been pleasantly surprised because several of them are millionaires.
Yeah.
And then they take their time and come
Mhm.
down here and talk to everybody, and you're so approachable. See, it surprised me last year because I'm pressed. They have to talk to me. They don't have a choice. I'm here for that. So, but y'all, they go out of their way. I notice to be nice. They want you to be successful.
Yeah.
I want y'all to be successful because I'm bored out of my mind sci-fi wise. I need something, guys. I don't care what it is. But at this point, I just want to see everybody go. And be honest about this. I've learned as much from the winners as I have from the judges as well. So, for me, like I said earlier, I'm not a writer. Now, what else you going publishing?
Yeah. So I've had kind of a cool year. So I was a first quarter winner, 2021.
First time?
No, it was my third submission. So I went semifinalist, then honorable mention, then win, and which was excellent. I was really stunned by it, and it's very cool. But like a couple months later, I got picked up by a publisher. So I had a sci-fi series I was working on, space opera series, and I was planning on self-publishing it because that seemed like the direction a lot of things were going. And post win, I was also working with some other author support and author encouragement groups, a couple of which I was running. Not that I'm an expert on it, but I was hosting the Zoom calls, and I'm a teacher, so I was like, all right, let's talk about goal setting together. What are you working on today? So it was that kind of thing. And in the process, met somebody who introduced me to my publisher, Chris Kennedy, and we went through the pitch process, and he bought the trilogy. So I've sold him a trilogy, and we're working on further installments. The trilogy is called This Fine Crew, and it's a space opera series very much inspired by Star Trek TNG. So basically, if you want to go into a Starfleet Academy with a bunch of species working together for the first time and have everything go wrong, that's kind of where the series starts. The first one, Signal Out of Space, and we we can cut that.
Is it available now?
It is, yeah. So the first three have already been published. So we went to rapid release them. And I kind of like that. It was nice being able to show up here and be like, hey, between announcing the win and getting here to receive, I have 3 novels published. So yes, we did December, January, and the beginning of March was when the last one came out. they're on Amazon. So yes, they're all available, and also I've got them on my website. My website, MikeJackStoumbos.com. And then on Amazon, if you look for Stoumbos, I as far as I checked the last time, I'm the only Stoumbos on Amazon.
That'll make it easier.
So yeah, it's kind of
I had a
helpful
lot of
there.
stuff on Amazon that gets washed
Yeah.
away in a
Oh,
weird
yeah.
place sometimes. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
So where you headed after this?
So immediately after this one, I'm actually going up north to Seattle. I'm going to be at NorwestCon. So on panels and selling books there, and then before I head back home to Virginia.
You gotta come check me. I'll be in a Dragon Con in Atlanta this year.
Yeah. I mean, if it's in the schedule, it's in that weird zone right at the beginning of the school year that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make
Yeah,
it.
because it is September, isn't it?
Yeah.
And because I was talking to my sister because she's a big over in Marriott.
Yeah.
I was like, Steph, I want a room when I come down. I said, Steph, you got it. I made you some money because I hooked you up. I want a room, man. She does. I just like to pick on her. But I think we're good. Let me make sure we got everything in there for this one.
Yeah.
We got the trilogy. We got the advances. The artwork for your book. I almost forgot.
Oh yeah.
How did you like it? How did you like the person who wrote it? And how did you like it?
Oh, it was very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So my artist, Natalia, and I'm going. Oh, drat! I'm blanking on her last name.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So Natalia, I met her before knowing that she was one of the illustrators. Like we kind of bumped into each other on the elevator, and we ended up chatting about the Writers of the Future thing going on. And she was like, "Oh, what are the illustrators here?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, what are the writers? Which story did you illustrate?" And I'd read all of them before coming here. And she was like, "Oh, I illustrated Squid as my brother." I was like, "That was mine, excellent." And so yeah, and then being able to see it for the first time was just awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tears last year, a lot of tears.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and y'all were doing autographs today, right?
We were indeed.
Yeah, that's always fun there.
Yeah.
Last year was like a log jam. But
Yeah, we had the autograph factory going.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So let's see. Any favorite Joe? No, I'm not gonna ask you.
Yeah, I probably can't say that totally. Yeah,
they might actually hear the interview.
There were a lot of very good ones, and there were some that in terms of personal preference, seriously stood out for me, and I'm like, I need to track down stuff that writer is writing in the future. But they were all good. It's it was a good volume. It was very cool.
I made friends with most of them. It's weird for me because I met the illustrator judges first last year. Going time. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this now. After the gala, a bunch of us used to get together. Last year, we had 16 of the winners up here and 5 of the judges, and we were here to literally 5 o'clock in the morning.
Seems a small room for that.
And
Bigger suite?
No,
okay.
The one room was a little bit bigger than this one, but it was.
Yeah.
There's people laid on the beds, across the floors, over here, over there.
All right.
Well, because I hate to say it, but LA closes a little early.
Yeah.
You can hang out till 2 or 3, but usually nobody really wanted to go club hopping because they were tired. And, it was more about letting the stress out from the event than it was anything else.
Right.
And we do that because a lot of stuff comes out in conversation. By the way, none of it's recorded.
Sure.
We don't turn on any recordings. That's the whole point, is to let everybody relax. I was a little stressed myself. So
yeah.
I said, yeah, how many freaking pictures you gonna take of me? Every time I looked up, I was on a big screen. Like, that's not what I'm here for, man. I'm like, if I wanted to do that, I'd submit something. I said, stop.
Yeah.
And, so back to Virginia for you.
Oh yeah, eventually back to Virginia.
Yeah. What? Just one last question.
Sure.
So, what is it you're gonna write next? Sci-fi, fantasy?
Still sci-fi. So since I first got picked up in sci-fi, I'm continuing on that trend. I've got a couple more sci-fi / space opera short stories coming out in the near future. I've got so there's another anthology that I'm really excited about this coming summer with Zombies Need Brains, and the anthology is called Brave New Worlds, and it's all about relocating from Earth to somewhere out in the stars, and that one's I'm happy with that one.
Dictated from Mars.
I have not yet tried to include Elon or any of Elon's likenesses in there, but
excuse me.
I mean it. Yeah.
I can hear it now. He's hyped. I see. Before I let you go, I seen him dancing on the stage, and he's doing an interview. And he gets up, and I said, first, he can't dance. Boy, he got no rhythm. And I'm thinking, sit down, Eli. You are embarrassing. So it's kind of like a Tony Stark moment. I was thinking, oh, man. But he's who he is, and he is going to change the world. There's no doubt about that. And for being somebody from South Africa who had a very strange mom, and he's done quite well for himself. Well for us now. I mean, maybe he's going to free Twitter. Wouldn't that be nice? That's what he said. He wants,
Okay.
he wants to bring free speech back to Twitter.
All right.
And that's what I was like. Yeah, that works. Even though I don't
This
go
is,
to Twitter anymore, that works. I mean, you're all on Twitter right now, but that don't count.
Okay.
You're also on Twitch right now, 4 Facebook pages and 2
Yeah.
YouTube pages. So
Good for me.
hello to everybody, and then you're on
Hello.
the live server right now. So that goes out around the world. See, the radio server just picks us up
Yeah.
and carries us off the video feeds and just throws us out to
Okay.
and which is a great thing. It makes it really easy. Radio is so easy these days compared to what it was in the old days. It's just hilariously funny.
Yeah.
Any favorites? How can I say this? Without starting some trouble. Any favorite people you met here? I'm not talking about judges or anything now. I'm just talking about fellow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are a few people that I knew before coming. Like, we actually kind of lucked out in that there were a lot of folks in this winter circle who were already part of some similar groups. So we got to touch base with each other along the way. So like 3 of the first place winners, like we all knew each other. We were all interconnected beforehand, and we were able to reach out and congratulate each other. And in I think a very fun, genuine way. So these aren't like strangers that I'm like, I hope they don't take my prize. But yeah, it's
you got a quarter of a chance to win the big one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 2 of them that won the big one last year. They were about to pass out.
Yeah,
I was like, he ain't got it. He's from North Korea, South Korea, and it's his family. His family was so sweet. They just broke down and cried like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I was over looking at his fan because of course they put you on a big screen when you're doing that. They're watching everything.
Yeah.
But it was great watching, and all these people were sincere. So I did notice with 35, 36, and 37, they make these groups and they kind of stay together now. It's a nice camaraderie. They get together, they help each other along the way, which is nice to see that.
I got to know the 35s pretty well at a conference in February, and the ones who have stayed like as a tight knit group, they're really doing a lot to help each other along. That sounds awesome.
Any work with Wolf?
I mean, I've chatted with him some, but I don't know him particularly well. I'm not one of his mentees.
Yeah, check the interview I did with him.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah.
The only problem he has is if you come out to his blog and act like an ass. But other than that, he's
okay. I'll try not to do that. Yeah.
Most people are not going to do it. He told me something one night. I said, "I'll come here, whoop your ass. You don't have to worry about it." He's like Joe. But any parting words before we go? Don't forget, get the website one more time.
Oh yeah. Best place to find my work is at MikeJackStoumbos.com. I mean, you said you had my name on the screen so they can see it spelled. Yeah, MikeJackStoumbos.com, and then otherwise on Amazon, I've got my 3 sci-fi books and short stories and anthologies up there, as well as now a link to the pre-sale to Treasures of the Future 38. So
that's
oh yeah.
So we're gonna clear out right.
Excellent. Right.